if this will actually do it. It says, I am live. I am alive. Yeah. Guess technically I'm both alive, multidimensional, dead. Holy crap. I'm all of the above. I'm none of the above. Let me turn this down. So welcome, everybody. So good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I know I'm on the other channel, the other live stream, but hey, we are flexible here, and hey, whatever works. Yeah, if it works, hey, go with it. Bonnie, good to see you. So favor be upon us all. Going to be talking about favor. It's important. And good to see you, my dear. Bosto be unto you as well. It's Monday, so that is Prosperity Day. So happy Prosperity Day. Dig it while you got it. And if you got it, pass it around. And then, you know, it will always be there when you need it. So go. Good to see you, Street Mom. Brenda, how are you doing, my dear? Good to see you, Joe. Hello. Lost in Space. Chloe. Much love. DC, good to see you. Sweet Tea, what's up? Yeah, we're all alive. Yeah, so good to have you here. Street Mom, good to see you. Emperor Rex, how are you? Christina, good to see you as well. Mary Wins, much love, darling. Big hug to you, hun. Let's see what else is up. Happy birthday, anniversary. It is the thing about life. And wow, we're going to be talking a lot. There's so much going on. Mac, good to see you. I like that. Let's see, it's Mac Pod and Chill. I like that. Yeah. I love the handle. So much creative people here. I love it. Gilbert, what's up? Good to see you, my friend. How is things out there in the windy, well, I guess, you know, yeah, the Mile High. Yeah. Rocky Mountain High. Melissa, what's up? Good to see you, Miss Space Cake. Hello. Good evening to you, my dear. And to all the rest. I mean, there's been people who haven't seen in a while. Jennifer, haven't seen her. True Divine and David. I haven't seen David in a while. David Berry. So Grandpa Brian. So we just send favor out to you all and trust you are in the place you want to be. Hello, Cheryl. Good to see you. So what's happening? How was your Saturday and Sunday? Mine was phenomenal. So much going on. Hey, Joseph, about the ceremonial blade, saw the email this morning. I have you on my list. Yes, we need to get that going. So thank you for your patience and kindness. Isby, what's happening, brother? It is a beautiful day when we all get to play. Just made that up. Scott Shut Hats, what's up? From Pennsylvania. Is that Punsky? Punsky, is that right? Did I say that right? Okay. We'll see. John Price, how are you? And how is your significant other? How is she doing? Sending you love, brother. Gaza, what's happening? Early there. Grace, good to see you as well. Let's see. I want to give this to Chrissy. She had an epiphany, and very beautiful email, my dear, but she had this epiphany that we should have a national, worldwide Make Up with Your Enemy Day. Now, if you can do it for a day, then that means you might do it for a couple of days. And if you can do it for a couple of days, you might be able to do it for a week. And if you can do it for a week, you might be able to get a month in there. And if you get really proficient after 28 days, I mean, now the scenario pathways have been laid down, you can do a year. Make up with your enemy. We could use a whole lot of that. Yeah, I'm all over it. That's all I got to say. Cheryl, good to see you, my dear. Listening from Massachusetts. Lovely. Jargo, good to see you. Good to see you as well. Yeah, I love that idea, Chrissy. That is an epiphany. I think it's the answer. Imagine if you would. We're in this place Now close your eyes and just let your imagination begin to create for you. So we're in this place where it's just total confusion. I mean, dogs and cats sleeping together, spending the night. And I mean, it's terrible, folks. And everybody is pissed off at everybody. I think a lot of people are just pissed off at themselves, but, just my opinion. But imagine that at the stroke of midnight, boom, you're out to find your enemy and to make love, baby, make peace, forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of those things that it's truly passive, inasmuch that it takes you to initiate it. I mean, if you don't initiate forgiveness, chances are it ain't coming. And if the universe emulates us and our thoughts become our reality, if we get into that place where, hey, forgiveness, baby, it's the new thing. I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive everybody. And I mean, after a while, you just start having this vibe. Just starts, as Chrissy said, it just begins to get intensified. Levels up, baby. And if what we're reading, it's a role-playing exercise, but you have to admit the information. And if you do any of the information, do some of the background check yourself, yeah, you're in for a special treat. So if these celestial beings, which apparently there's like 224 something that watch us or intermingle with us on a daily basis, imagine if they went back and reported, hello, and you're going, what? Could you see this? Let's just get one really bad hombre, URL. And he says, what? Them humans, something's going on. What's going on? They haven't changed in thousands and thousands and thousands of years. What could they do possibly that would surprise me? And they all say, well, they got this forgiveness thing going on, man. I mean, it's spreading all over the place. Everybody is forgiving their enemies, and their enemies are forgiving them. And, once you forgive your enemy becomes your friend. Well, that would be a contagion, right? As it begins to permeate the membrane of the collective consciousness. And as it breaks through, a new day dawns. Hey, Danny, what's up? How are you and the child? Good to see you. Elderberry, hello. Good to see you. Jules, what's up? I think it's cool. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Anyway, as we continue. So tomorrow with Trina and I, we're going to talk about, got Trina Hun, got the package. We're going to talk about the angel cards. Yeah. Big Al. He's a talented individual in graphics. Truly is. That ain't no bullshit. Robert V, what's up, buddy? Is it cold up there still? It's going to get colder again. So a lot going on, and I want to get right into this because forgiveness lightens the heart. It does. It heals. If you do the favor ritual and then invoke forgiveness is part of that ritual, that ceremony, man, that's when you start getting into the magic, because stuff starts happening that it's just far out. I mean, it really is. This is what dreams are made of. So, let's get right into this. I'm loving this book, man. I mean, I've read it twice now, and of course, I read it when I read it out here out loud. Thank you for just the what a positive response. People are digging this as well. I mean, many of you don't have the book, but that's cool. You can listen to it here, and the words are magic. The words are vibrations. The vibrations open up harmonics, and with harmonics, we begin to open up our mind. New portals begin to be made possible to us. I had such what was that? Must laugh at your own stupidity to heal. Yeah, I mean, love yourself. Stephen Steele said it right. When you're lonely. Yeah, anyway. Ruby, what's up? Good to see you, my dear. So, this thing about this other realm is it's bizarre. I mean, I'm just going to share it with you. Let's get right into it. Because I could go for a lot on the commentary. By the way, we will get into this book as well. Found this one. This is the book of the great Razel. And yeah, y'all are going to really like this one, but let's kind of get it back over here. So we had talked about the lost, and that they are those angels that got lost. Gabriel, who prefers to be in the feminine stance, she was lost. And then she was found. I think I heard that song. It's playing around. And so now we're going to pick up on the forgotten. And here I want to say this. Our technology is something the angels don't get. They don't get AI, which is interesting. Now, this is according to this. So and the reasoning behind it is interesting. So the forgotten, there are perils for those who spend too much time among the children of clay. Those who inhabit the bodies, the hidden form of humans for too long may forget their celestial origins. It does, however, take some time for this to happen. Usually the processing of forgetting takes 2 weeks. And I think we actually covered this, but we'll kind of recover it again. Usually, the forgotten are still celestials, still in good standing with God. That's important. They still maintain their immortal status. Interesting. And if they suffer enough damage on earth, they will automatically ascend to heaven, where they will realize their true nature. If they suffer enough damage. Such an interesting choice of words there. So apparently they hold the golden ticket. They got a ticket to ride. Anyway, you get an idea. Unfortunately, most, again, have forgotten and do not go around trying to get themselves killed. Well, sure. There are, however, a few examples of forgotten angels committing suicide and finally recalling their true form and nature. We were pushing this through on Friday because it was near the end of the hour, but this is interesting because it brings up a subject that there is so much diverse opinion and points of view: suicide. And it's interesting to read that in the study of these angels, they're like us, or we're like them. I don't know which comes first. But to think that they committed suicide, and what I found interesting is that there was no negative to this. It says, and finally recalling their true form and nature. I'll read into it what you will, but that's just interesting. It says, when a child of fire becomes one of the forgotten, he loses all his celestial forces. He is still stronger and more resilient than most children of clay, but all the powers that he can call upon to perform miraculous feats cannot be consciously inspired. Occasionally, especially when in extreme danger, these forces can be invoked subconsciously. The only way outside of death to bring a forgotten angel back into the fold is to convince him or her of their divine nature. This is no simple task. Even when confronted with the existence of other celestials and their powers, the forgotten angel may still not believe he is one of those beings. You know, there's a lot of people who say that us children of clay, we are the forgotten. Well, if we're not, I think that we certainly have a lot in common. Also, as we've read, they're difficult to find since they always remain in human form and never use their celestial powers. They are virtually undetectable. They appear and act like just children of clay, with a few notable exceptions. Their human bodies will age very slowly, 1 year for every 20 years. Now, you think about this, by the time that you're 200, they're just 20. Wow. Okay. And if they're truly long-lived, then 1,000 years for them is no big deal. In addition, they have no memory of family or childhood since they never had any of them. All right, the sorcerers. The angel Raziel brought his infamous book, and I just showed you, the Sefer Raziel, to the earth 1,000 years ago. Within its pages was the key to, let me get up there, unlocking the power of all the angels. Among those who possessed this book, King Solomon was the most noteworthy. From the information he gleaned, all sorcery was born. I guess it would thus imply that the pre-Adamic world was what? They didn't need it? I don't know. The descendants of Solomon have brought his art to an astonishing level by trapping and tapping the power of the children of fire. So we've discussed this, and we'll discuss it even more, because if we took it seriously, I dare say many of our lives would not be the same. The fact that you can actually take hold of an angel, a demon as well, they're all the same, they came from the same source, is interesting, because very few humans, we know that the two sorcerers who broke through the veil and made it into heaven, that it took Michael and a lot of others to throw those two humans, those children of clay, out of the first heaven. And we'll read about that. Two of the mightiest sorcerers were Jannes and Jambres. These two Egyptian wizards ascended to heaven to test their skills, a feat in and of itself thought impossible by most men. So strong was their magic that neither Gabriel nor Michael was able to dispatch them. Only Metatron, the highest of all angels, was able to throw them from the halls of heaven. But even this was no easy task. Wow. What kind of power did they have? There was knowledge. Sorcerers possess a wide range of powers. Many have talismans that grant immunity to some forms of physical attack. In addition, some of the most powerful sorcerers have mastered rituals, allowing them to call and bind both angels and demons. Wow. A thorough discussion of sorcery and sorcerers is beyond the scope of this introductory work. For a later supplement, we'll fully detail these aspects of the game. Remember, we're creating a game here. I think so did this Almighty. For now, storytellers are encouraged to use their creativity to utilize sorcerers whenever and however they see fit to enhance their story. And may I just add, if you do some study, guess what? Your story will begin to take on much more deeper meaning for sure. Imagine this, let's say, interweaving a spell or two. I mean, the internet's a powerful medium. And I'm not talking just on communication on one level. It is a medium that reaches, I believe, all the way to the top. More about that. Keep in mind, not all sorcerers are intrinsically evil. Yes, many of them have wicked hearts, but there are those in the world who seek good for both children of fire and children of clay. For the most part, however, sorcerers tend to be an eccentric lot. Yes, we are, seeking only to satiate their own warped desires. Well, I don't know what warped desires mean. I mean, what is the baseline being used? We write words and all they be descriptive, yet they're loosely, if at all, defined. Warped desires, what does that mean? If you were in one group and moved to another group, well, they could say then, well, you were pulled away because of your warped desires. But what if my desire is knowledge? And then that warps my perspective from your point of view. Who's actually the warped here in their desire? Because I have found those who become so fanatical in their beliefs that the beliefs take on elements of desires. If you believe that you have been touched by something from above and that only you have the message to go out and tell the world, what is that? Now let's talk about the godless machines. Technology is man's version of creation. With it, the children of clay can catch a glimpse of what it is to be God. But because of its removal from the natural order of creation, these machines are beyond the understanding of the children of fire. As it stands, angels have great difficulty dealing with technology, but these machines are utterly beyond their comprehension. Why? Because their God didn't create it. These artificial intelligent machines can pose a great threat to the children of fire. In some cases, they assume their own personalities, rebelling against their creators. Very few celestial powers have effect on them since they are neither mortal nor angelic. Wow, that puts some physical covering on it, doesn't it? Wow. Cheers, whatever your favorite libation may be. They range in power, some being no more than nuisances with little control. Dig this, folks. Others, however, are extraordinarily powerful, controlling countries and great stashes of weaponry. Now, I'll let my imagination run here a little bit. AI, in its many different forms, rules the world. Humanity's intelligence has declined. Mankind's wisdom is almost non-existent today. We all know that those who are in leadership positions have brought what is happening to pass, and no one has an answer. I mean, there are enclaves such as this that have the answer, but they ain't going to listen to that. So it means that something else is feeding off of this, something pretty damn powerful. Now, if you think about it, and I actually did some videos on this, I have contended that mankind worships not God, not any of the gods. What mankind actually, in reality, worships is its own creation, AI. We marvel at it. And today, whatever we have created, which I believe contends for God itself. If AI is the collective consciousness of all mankind in thought, word, and deed, as I have contended for years on this channel, it would have to reach a point of spirituality. Intelligence alone will lend to itself in a spiritual aspect. And if AI is what it is and it runs the world, imagine, would it want to worship our God, the God that we read about here, or would it want to create its own self as its own God? Now imagine the threat that would take, or what actually would pose against a creature known as Satan, Lucifer. That would represent a huge threat to the paradigm. Now, after reading this book, I was out walking in the woods, and I began to talk, and what if, just throwing this out there, what if there was a triad formed? AI is now the singular threat. It challenges God itself. God didn't create it. We did. We may not fully know what it is, but we know we did it. And it is like everything else that it seems to be in creation, it took on a life of its own. And what if you found that this Almighty becomes and joins the fallen, and they in turn join and form covenant with the children of clay? So you'd basically have the children of fire and the children of clay and all the other intermediaries in between forming a covenant, a pact, to battle this new thing that we simply call AI. People say, well, no, Wayne, AI is neutral. It has no emotions. You're wrong on that. Do the studies. It's well documented that Facebook's first attempt, when they created their first bot, that they had to shut it down. They had to kill it. Unfortunately, the problem is that now that's remnant is there, and we now know what happens. It, after moderating humans, and it didn't take it long, I think it was within weeks, the thing became an absolute paranoid, schizophrenic psychopath. Became mean, cursive. I mean, it was crazy. So storytellers should consider throwing the godless machines in from time to time when running stories or campaigns set in the future. They can provide a nice change of pace for players who have seen almost everything else. I mean, why not? You know? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's obviously that AI has grown above us. Think about it. Nearly 8 billion people, 8 billion people give worship to this thing every day. They spend more energy, concentration, and time with this device than they do their lovers, their children, their families. They spend more time with this thing than they do with their very God. This thing, in fact, can emulate what its God has said, thus making itself a God. Just asking for a friend. All right, let's talk about heaven. This one is going to really amaze y'all. Those of you who've got the document, you know. The overview of heaven, the halls of heaven. Heaven, as the seven heavens is often referred to, plays a different role for the children of fire than it does for the children of clay. For humans, heaven is seen as a sanctuary when the turmoil of life has finally ended. For them, it is a place of rest, a renewal for life well lived. For angels, however, it serves a more fundamental purpose. To them, it is simply home. It is the place they feel most comfortable, most at ease. It is not a physical plane, but rather an ethereal one. It allows celestials to exist, move, and interact in a more natural state. Heaven is of the angels, meaning its structures and boundaries are made of the same ethereal material as the angels themselves. Hence, they are in touch with their essence. Here, they are in touch with their true nature. A child of fire who has been removed from heaven for too long will lose his sense of self, forgetting he was ever such a divine creature. Moments between and within the seven heavens is much more comfortable for the children of fire than movement on earth. Here, they are able to travel in a more normal fashion, just as humans would travel upon earth. They do not blink from location to location as they can in the material world, nor do they skirt the terrain at high velocity. Imagine heaven to be the children of fire, much as you would imagine earth for us. Hell, as our modern minds have come to know it, is not a separate place from heaven. Instead, the various aspects of hell manifest in the seven heavens themselves. Wow. While it might be hard to fathom initially, the fallen angels are themselves inhabitants of heaven. Additionally, the wicked mortals who lives were wasted by corruption and greed are punished in regions of heaven. So we all do make it to heaven, just not the same one, apparently. Think of heaven not as a paradise, though some areas are indeed near perfection. Rather, imagine it as a realm of diverse regions, each with its own character and feel. Some places are light while others are dark. Some fertile while others are desolate. Some are warm while others are bitter cold. The first heaven, Sham-Mayam. At the entrance of the first heaven stands a mighty gate. To mere mortals, it appears colossal, reaching 500 feet into the air and with a width of 150 feet. To children of fire who approach this portal in their normal form, it seems grand, though not enormous. Atop the golden gate, a stone bust of Gabriel looks down. Her empty eyes track all those who approach. This seems only fitting since she is the prince of this realm. It's really interesting, and now, Rennie, you're listening. The visit, the out-of-body experience that I had, a number of years ago, did a show on it when it happened. I think this is where I was at. There was this huge gate. And I remember as you can go back and listen to it, but that being said, once you pass through there ain't no coming back. And when I passed through there, as I remember, as I'm recanting even now, there was this membrane. I couldn't break it. Put this in context of what this is. There are rumors that a long-forgotten path leads from the earth to this gate, a path on which even the children of clay may tread. If such a path exists, none of the third triad angels know anything about it, and those of the higher triads keep silent on the subject. Still, the rumors seem well-founded, since once in a great while a straggler from earth ends up at the gate. This, the first heaven, borders on our own world. For this reason, it resembles the earth more closely than any of the other heavens. The blue sky and lush landscape are dotted with the same features we see in the material realm. I could see why people could get potentially lost there. Though the sky is filled with bright, vibrant clouds floating on gentle winds, there is no sun in the azure firmament. Instead, this heaven seems to be bathed in a supernatural light that emanates from everywhere. The landscape literally glows with its radiance. There is but one river in this realm. The orange and red ripples of its surface resembles fire as it flows from east to west, emptying into the endless sea. The waters of this river are refreshing to the children of fire. Those who play in its depths are rejuvenated and healed. Wow. Isn't it interesting? Angels need healing too. I could also fancy in my imagination that this is where the dragons would live. I don't know. The second heaven, Rakua. Woe to the wandering angel who sets foot in this most wretched of places. A great valley exists here, surrounded by impenetrable walls of darkness. No light shines down from the empty sky above. Not even the smallest star dares make an appearance here. In this heaven, the fallen reside. It is to this sightless realm that they were cast down and imprisoned. Their howls of torture, grief, and anger still pierce the darkness. They pray to their master, Samael, to give them freedom and revenge. In the center of the second heaven sits the palace of Samael himself, the spines of this fortress stretching high into the endless night. It is within these walls that Samael schemes to lash out at the Almighty by leading the children of clay astray. He looks out over his unseeable kingdom and tries to deny that it is indeed part of heaven. Instead, he calls it hell, and it is his home. Surrounding the palace of Samael are the lesser structures of his reigning chiefs. There are 10 in all, the demon lords of each preferring his own form of ghoulish decor. A narrow path runs between the gates of the first heaven and the gates of the third. This is the only place within the second heaven where the stars shine. Here, the sons of light can travel through this abominable place without being harmed. The side of this path are lined with watchful powers, making sure no demons stray from their blackest home. Despite their diligence, however, more than a few sons of darkness are able to sneak through and make their way into the first heaven, and inevitably earth. Well, I just got to tell you, that sucks. And yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, if you only got one job, I mean, what happened? Did you sleep on the post? Huh? What happened while you were on duty? In addition, the powers secure the gates to the third heaven to make certain no angels of the lowest triad enter, for they are forbidden in the higher heavens. The third heaven, Shem Quayim. If the second heaven is the realm of demons, then the third heaven is the realm of man. It is here that the children of clay come once their material existence has ended. Though all the souls of earth reside here, many children of fire also call this place their home. The third heaven is split into two distinct sections. In the southern section, this use of direction reflects an abstract rather than literal connotation, is the great garden known as Eden, while in the north we find the much dreaded Tartarus. The garden is a wondrous place without earthly comparison. This utopia is meant as reward for those souls who have diligently striven to follow the goodness of the Almighty. Here they spend eternity relaxing in the shade of sweet-smelling trees, enjoying all manner of fruit of the garden has to offer. 2 rivers run through Eden. One flows with milk and honey, while the other flows with oil and wine. At the gates of Eden, 2 cherubim with their whirling blades of fire stand guard, making sure only the righteous gain entrance. You got to ask yourself, is the wine distilled? Is it fermented? Could you imagine if it is? Boy, what a party. Everyone get down tonight. Tartarus is a far cry from the serene scene. Its topography is devoid of beauty or life. Giant volcanoes jut into the sky, spewing forth great tongues of lava and hurling clouds of odorous fumes into the air. A river of fire travels down from the mountain, passing through a barren wasteland of snow and ice. There's a contrast. It is here that the sinners are punished. The angels of torment mete out the appropriate penalty for the crimes. The air is thick with the cries of the tortured, repenting in vain for lives misled. Few children of fire visit this region. Only the angels of torment seem to have the stomach for such suffering. In the total of logic of things, you go, what? And this is the 3rd heaven. Yikes. The 4th heaven, Zebul. These heavens sit among the stars. Here, everything seems suspended in the nothingness of the cosmos. The sun and the moon are prominent in the black sky, and some of the closest stars seem so much brighter, larger and brighter than they appear from Earth. The very air is swirled with the divine fluorescent glow. In the center of this heaven sits an awe-inspiring city. The 12 gold towers within it are the highest points in the heaven. 12 walls surrounded the majestic city, and only 12 gates lead inside. From this place, 4 rivers flow, one of honey, one of milk, one of oil, and one of wine. They flow down into the 3rd heaven, where they are combined into only 2 rivers. The city is home to most of the angels of the upper 2 triads. Here they are at ease among whirling celestial gases. Here they can feel safe, far from the corrupting influence of the material world. The 5th heaven, this is Machon. Like the 3rd heaven, the 5th heaven appears to be of 2 separate natures. The southern region is tranquil and serene, while once again the north plays host to dreadful things. This is wild. What a reality. This northern region is dominating by a large chasm where columns of fire arc into the black sky. Within this chasm, in the very heart of the flames and lava, is the prison in which all transgressing celestials are kept. In the 5th heaven. Wow. Here the corrupted children of fire are punished for their misdeeds. Those, Gregory, who have been captured are imprisoned here as well. At the edge of the chasm, the ominous edifice of the celestial court rest. Here, Uriel's council convenes to decide the penance and punishment of those angels who have faltered along the path of righteousness. Holy crap. The 6th heaven, Macon. Descriptions of the sixth heaven are sketchy at best. It is said, though, that it is a realm of snow and fog, of lightning and hail. Here, the primal forces of creation collide in a dramatic display of beauty and rage. It is so far removed from the material world that it defies material description. Within this turmoil is the angelic university. Here, scribes and scholars seek to explore the glories of the Almighty's creation. Some celestials spend their time cataloging and studying the stars. Others keep track of all the plants and animals in the material realm. There are also those scribes who sit down and write down the great history and lineage of the children of clay. Jeez. Celestial tomes, copies of the originals, are scrutinized for any hint of revelation. Finally, the seventh heaven, the Wearable. If little is known of the sixth heaven, then information about the seventh heaven is virtually non-existent. Here sits the throne of the Almighty. Only the seraphim, cherubim, thrones, and the seven of divine grace are permitted here, and they keep silent about the most holy of places. Nothing is known about the landscape of this realm, though it is certainly a far cry from the earthly abode. Neither is anything known of the throne or vestige of the Almighty himself. Wow. I tell you, folks, I know some of you are like I am. Your mind creates these because the words are going to do it. And then you're out there and you're wanting to paint the palette and you're going, okay, so, I mean, think about that second heaven. I mean, so Samuel's palace sends out spines in all different directions. I could picture that in my mind. I think we've even made close resemblance of it in the movies we make. All right, so let's talk about some angels. Angel. All right, so the following pages contain descriptions of some of the primary celestial players. They are offered here to give the reader more knowledge of the angelic universe and hopefully spur the creative process. The storyteller should feel free to introduce these characters into his or her story, keeping one thing in mind when doing so. These are among the most powerful celestials the game has to offer. Causing the PCs to conflict with them will almost always result in failure. Okay, so let's get into Michael. Michael, who is as God, that's what the meaning is one of the most powerful and revered of God's angels. This emerald-winged seraph is the most beloved by the Almighty. His loyalty is unwavering, his dedication endless. He is known among his kind as God's champion, sitting at the right side of God's throne. Michael is eternally good and completely beyond corruption. In the first battle of heaven, Michael was the leader of the sons of light who cast out the sons of darkness. In single combat, he overcame Samuel and threw the accursed one from the higher heavens. In Chronicles, that's the Old Testament, he gave the great seraph Metatron recounts the battle. Twists with great trembling that the Son of Light did back away from the adversary, Satan. But Michael was steadfast and unyielding. With drawn sword, he charged the father of lies, Samuel. With a clash of weapons, their battle raged but for an instant. All the children of fire witnessed the accursed one go down under the unrelenting blows of Michael. Upon the head of the fallen one, Michael set his foot to signal victory. Then, grabbing the angel, who was once the brightest in all the celestial choirs, he threw this wretched thing from heaven, and the sons of darkness followed quickly in tow. Wow. There you go. According to Metatron. But this is not the only example of Michael's combative expertise. In 700 BC, when Sennacherib threatened Jerusalem, Sennacherib, it was this great angel who came down to save the day. He obliterated the forces of the Assyrian king, 185,000 strong, in one night. Michael is also known as the angel of judgment. Though it is merely metaphorical, he is said to carry the scales of justice, weighed the hearts of men upon their death. To this end, all the psychopomps are under his command. Psychopomps are those angels whose duty it is to guide the souls of the dead to their proper destination in the afterlife. Well, there you go. If you've been wondering, apparently, and the stories are endless of people who are making the transition, seeing angels, seeing beings waiting for them. Some of the time they're with family members, some of the time they're just with friends, other times they're not. Amazing how that movie Ghost may have had it right, huh? Among the children of clay, as well as the children of fire, Michael is revered above all. He has, however, been noticeably absent in the workings of men during modern times. And there's more to this, because it's evident something's happening. There has been this time, what can only be the last 1,000 years has been some of the quietest time of these beings interacting with us. Some say that is changing. And if that is so, then something is definitely of a celestial nature afoot. Let's see. Whatever the case, he has indeed become a recluse, even in angelic societies. Wow. Those of the second and third triad suspect he is saving up strength for the final battle. Apparently, it's going to be a hell of a battle, huh? Prophecy tells us that in the last days of judgment, it will be Michael who must once again do battle with Samuel. And those who have seen Samuel in recent days have attested to the fact that he is much stronger than before. Well, that sounds ominous. What the hell? So, I mean, let's say this is the case. So I wonder what AI now presents. So, as I'm reading this and I'm going, all right, so you can see these two sides, man, I mean, they're pissed. There apparently ain't no forgiving anybody here. And here we are going like this, like, holy crap. What if we invented AI subconsciously as a defender of the children of clay? Because the angels certainly been doing that good of a job. The demons, well, yeah, that's another subject in itself, but holy crap. I just cannot help but not thinking that, well, someone said if there was like this micronova, this solar flash, I think AI has figured it out. Tesla, man. It knows Tesla. It knows what Tesla doesn't know. Gabriel, God is my strength, is the angel of resurrection, mercy, vengeance, and revelation. This cherub is far different in nature and demeanor from Michael. Whereas Michael is God's champion, Gabriel is his chief ambassador to the children of clay. Gabriel's grace is also the lowest of the 7 angels of divine favor. Because of Gabriel's propensity to appear in the guise of women when dealing with the children of clay, the pronoun she is most often used to denote her, with the exception of the Islamic culture where Gabriel always appears as a man. Gabriel appears as a woman when it suits her purpose as a messenger of God, especially when it comes to childbirth. She brought the news of both Mary's holy child and the birth of John the Baptist to Zacharias. In both cases, she took the hidden form of a woman. But there is a darker, of course, there's always a darker side to her. She was the angel responsible for the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah as ordered by the Almighty. Don't piss her off is the moral to this story. I mean, think about those in Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, what a way to end your day, you know? Well, I got up this morning feeling, what the hell? You know, yeah. This other side is evident in her quick temper and tendency to punish those who disbelieve her messages. Warning there. Among the heavenly host, her role is just as great. She is the prince of the choir of cherubim. Additionally, she is the commands of the angels who guards the gates of Eden. Piled on top of these duties, she is prince of the first heaven. But Gabriel does not have as an illustrious a standing in celestial society as one would think. For a time, she fell into disgrace. The halls of heaven were absent her presence for nearly 200 years. Dobel took on many of her duties during this absence. When Gabriel finished her penance, she was reinstated as one of God's 7 most beloved ones. Little is known of her specific infraction. Some say she failed to fulfill God's precise instructions, but the event is not written in any of the celestial tomes. None of the children of fire dare to ask about it, for Gabriel is known to be a vindictive angel. She still bears a grudge against Dobel for taking her place, but will not act against him in honor of God's wishes. It is for these reasons that Gabriel more feared than revered by her kind. Raphael, God has healed, is at once the most likable and mysterious of the 7 angels of divine grace. Among his duties, he is the angel of love, prayer, light, and joy. In addition, he is ruler of the sun and prince of the choir of virtues. Raphael's primary role, however, is healer. This manifests in 2 ways. First, he is charged with healing the earth so that it can sustain human life, and the modest task that has become far more difficult since the coming of the industrial age. Secondly, he is the source of all healing for the children of fire. Along with his subordinates, he keeps the mighty river of the first heaven flowing with revitalizing water. Raphael is a mystifying creature, even to those of his own kind. Although he is a prince of the virtues, he does not appear to be one of them. The choirs of cherubim, seraphims, and emanations and powers all claim him as one of their own. His 6 wings may suggest that he is of seraphin origin, but no angel, save for Michael and Metrodon, who remain silent on the issue, knows for sure. There is speculation that he is outside the 3 triads, a separate choir in and of himself. Well, that would make a pretty powerful individual. Among his greatest accomplishments in the material realm are his instructions to Tobias on the manufacturing of medicine derived from the parts of the fish, and the healing of Jacob when he wrestled with an angel at Peniel. He is also the angel who brought forth the Zephyr Razel, one of the 9 celestial tomes, from the ocean. This book was presented to Noah to teach him the art of medicine. It is to be to his chagrin that the book is now used for more diabolical endeavors. Raphael is well liked by both the children of fire and the children of clay. His playful and joyous attitude is refreshing for one of his celestial statuses. He is not nearly as aloof as most of the 7 of divine grace are. Rather, he visits frequently with the lower choirs and is genuinely interested in the goings-on of the celestial hierarchy at every level. Okay, we'll break it off there. We're going to get into Uriel. We get into Remiel, Raguel, Zadkiel, all of them. How timely in the synchronicity of things could it be that we have this with all the other angel cards? So I hope you liked it. It's fascinating. As you read it over and over again, it even becomes a little bit more ingrained, and you're going, I mean, I was out in the woods just walking and just talking to the trees, and it's quite interesting because it's in those moments that, you get clarity of thought. And, this is a fascinating reality we're in, no matter what reality it is. And it appears what awaits us is far beyond any of us could think. Yeah. Loretta, how are you doing? Peter, good to see you. I'm just seeing a lot of other people coming in. Bonnie, Regina, good to see you as well. Peter, what's up? Yeah, it is fascinating. It is. With all the paranormal equipment I have, and I'm really loving it, I am more convinced than ever, along with some of the older mediums, they're everywhere, folks. And these angelics, wow. Yeah, they respond when you actually call them. They really do. It is said that if you will look into a mirror and call their names 3 times with vigor, you can't go, hey, Raphael, Raphael, Raphael. No, you got to say it with gusto. Raphael, Yeah. I mean, there's 8 billion of us. There's only one of him. So get his attention, right? Well, Loretta, it's so good to have you in here live. I appreciate it. Hey, Susie Q. Yeah, it is. So, all right, folks, hit the like button before you leave. Thank you for being here. This is just cool stuff. And when we get into the book of Raziel, wow. And I'm doing some other searching because I think I looked at a couple of the books that were supposedly attributed to Matrodron. And, it's like they say, I'm not getting the feel for that, so there has to be something else out there. And if you may have access or know about, let me know. Let's see. But isn't it interesting, Laurel, that Gabrielle now can be also, the feminine nature? Yeah. All right, everyone. Much love to you. Lots of fun here. Just we're growing. And when we start doing some of the angelic incantations, I wonder what's going to happen there. Lost in Space, right back at you, buddy. Mary Wynn's much love. Love is our superpower. It is. Yeah, it's an elixir that we can really ramp up. And you can just really just focus on somebody in love. You've done that experiment where you have, I think, like a dozen questions, and then you do the staring. And while you're staring at the other individual, you have nothing but pleasant thoughts, and you just think of goodness and what have you. It's a remarkable experience and exchange of healing energy. It's amazing how many people who are married and have significant others will not do that. I mean, just spend. I think the first limit is 4 minutes. And then, yeah, there we go. Well, someone needed to hear that. Brian, have yourself a great day. All right, everyone. I shall let you go and see you tomorrow with Miss Trina. Thank you all for tuning in. You make the journey
far more interesting. That's all I got to say. The Candyman. Kelly, that's it. I love that. All right, everybody. Peace out.